Yeah, no. I mean, I think look for us. I think we didn't play to the level that we can. But equally, when I sit down and look, we went 17 games unbeaten. I think that was obviously very, very pleasing. I think for a second-year team to go 17 games unbeaten is great. Great testament to the guys, to their mentality. But obviously disappointed with the way Saturday went. But you regroup and we go again. We get a good week's training and you get back on the horse. It's not all doom and gloom.
What did you think of Greg's performance Saturday? And after the game, did you guys have a conversation? What did you say to him?
Not a lot. I think for Greg, I think he's come in. He's done great. He was disappointed himself with a couple of things, but we've got guys that hold themselves accountable. And I think for us, it's their standards have been so high, and they continue to be that way because they've high aspirations and they're really good players. I think for us, it's never one individual. When somebody scores goals, you don't come in and just credit him, or when a goal goes in, you don't just blame Greg. And there's lots of aspects to it. I think for me, that game could very easily have gone the other way. We had lots of opportunities. We've hit the post, we've hit the bar, and on another day we score a lot more goals. So I think when you get days like that, you need to look at it, analyse it, learn from it, and then make sure then that you get a good week's training behind you and go and make sure you're prepared for the next game, which is Orlando on Saturday.
Orlando's on a bit of a roll, I guess, recently. You've already seen them twice.
Yeah.
How do you prepare for a team a third time? What have you thought of their recent form?
Yeah, I mean, they've obviously done well. I mean, they're on an unbeaten streak themselves. I'm sure they'll be disappointed. I haven't spoke to Anthony. Obviously, the guys in Orlando, we've got a great relationship with. We're pretty close too. So he'll be disappointed, obviously, to give up a goal late against Wilmington, as we did here. It's the same result, 2-2. So, but look, they're people I've got a lot of respect for. They've done really well. And as I say, they're on an unbeaten run themselves. So we know it's going to be a tough game. Anthony's a very good coach. They'll be very well organised. So we need to make sure we prepare correctly for what will be a tough game.
A little frustrated you went on a long streak. Then you look at the standings, and now you're only 1 point up. How competitive are things? That's what it's come to.
Well, I'm pleased that we're number one and we're a point ahead. I think for us, it's to go as a second-year team to go 17 games unbeaten. I mean, I'm not quite sure what the league record is, but I'm sure we were getting close to it. So I think there's lots of things we can be really pleased about. I think what we need to do is we need to make sure that we get a good week's training behind us and that we try and get as many people as we can into Slugger. I think that's something that we need to try and do, make sure that we get as many supporters in and try and make it an intimidating atmosphere for Orlando that they don't enjoy coming here. I think that's what hopefully our supporters will be able to do. I thought our supporters were great on Saturday. I mean, it was really tough conditions. I mean, credit to them, they stayed for the whole game in really, really hot conditions. So, a big thank you for all those who travelled up, and then equally all the ones that are here and looking forward to the game. Let's bring your mate, let's bring your mum, let's bring your auntie, and let's get everyone into Slugger for Saturday's game.
You guys have beaten them twice this season. What do you take from those games and that to bring up for this game?
Nothing. Make sure that there's no complacency. Make sure they'll be determined to try and get something from the game. So I think for us, it's making sure that our training, our focus is on the things it needs to be, because they'll be coming there on an unbeaten run themselves, and they'll have a desire to come and win the game. So it'll be a tough game for us Saturday. We need to make sure our preparation and focus is where it needs to be. But before that, we need to make sure that we've. One of the things that I have a bit of an issue with is obviously the 4 o'clock kickoff is something that could have been avoided. Andrew's feet, he's got burns. You've got a couple of lads that got heat exhaustion, and I think when you start to get players' health that's put at risk, I think that's where the line needs to be drawn. I don't think there was any need for that game to kick off at 4 o'clock. I think the sensible thing to do would have been to change it, especially with the heat. And that's not excuses. That's we lost the game. I'm speaking about players' health. We've got Andrew's got severe burns on his feet. You've got a couple of lads that've got heat exhaustion and others as well. And I don't think there was a need to play the game at 4 o'clock. I think that game could easily have kicked off at a later time, and maybe where it wasn't quite as hot, there would have been a bit of shade on the turf. Because the turf, when it gets as hot as that, it burns people's feet, and there's no need for it to get to that level at that stage.
You watched any of New York play recently? What do you think of just their style and I guess this chase that is between the too.
Listen, I think it's fantastic. I mean, obviously we watched them against Cincinnati. I think for us, we tend to focus on ourselves and make sure that our preparation is on what we need to do to achieve the things that we want. Our focus is primarily on ourselves. But now, whether it's New York, whether it's Cincinnati, whoever it is, it's down to them to make sure that they look after how they're performing, and it's down to us to make sure that we look after our training and our performance. So I'm not overly interested in New York or Cincinnati or anybody else. I'm interested in our players and making sure that we focus on the group of guys that we have, because I have tremendous belief in the group that we have here.